In Elite Dangerous, the new currency is not credits, it seems to be materials, and those materials used to engineer and to augment current modules. Now, the Caustic Cloud, or the remnants of a destroyed Titan, will give you an awful lot of interesting materials. Not all of them, however, are going to be worthwhile yet in-game. Some have a use, some do not. You could find yourself looking for caustic crystals, even caustic shards and corrosive mechanisms. Perhaps you're looking for meta-alloys. Perhaps you're looking for Titan drive components that were part of a past community goal. Or perhaps you just want to collect all those materials just in case Frontier turn around and lay a requirement on you. And you can say, haha, I have those materials, Frontier, and I haven't got to go searching around, and I will have that module straight away. Well, we're going to take a look at what it takes to get into the Caustic Cloud or the remnants of a destroyed Titan, and what sort of ship you need. And then we're going to take a look at the materials you can get. Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Yes, it's all about the remnants of the Titans. Even Tyrannus, that was destroyed, God, ages ago, can still furnish you with a lot of materials. Perhaps not as many materials as you get around a recently fallen Titan. However, if you go to an older Titan where the Caustic Cloud is dissipated, you're not going to incur caustic damage. However, you will get some beef, shall we say, from pirates. And Thargoids when they jump back in. Who knew, hey, coming back to the scene of the crime. Although if you go to a Titan that has recently met its demise at the hand of AX weapons or augmented Guardian weapons, then you're going to get not only the beef of caustic damage, but also the beef of a more active Thargoid presence. But the rewards are fantastic because you can get quite a few materials that some have got usage at the moment in game, some have not. Is it worthwhile stocking up on your carrier? We're going to dig into this. Now, good old Ramtar has been sprinkling around his magic. In a recent video I did on the anti-Guardian zone resistance upgrade that you can put to your Guardian weapons and modules, will require the use of caustic crystals. Now, these are typically one of the three materials that you need. You'll need tactical chips that you can get from the Revenant. You're also going to need these caustic crystals, and you're also going to need an abrasion sample taken from the upper surface of a Thargoid Titan. Now, what this is a hardened surface fragment. Go and find yourself a Titan and go and shave a couple of those off. Basically, fill up. That's what I would say. Now, one material of note that you're going to find there is meta-alloys. Now, meta-alloys are this complex lattice of structure with internal voids, and the Thargoids absolutely love them. They love them, and it can be used to basically unlock the Thargoid bubblehead and also caustic racks, or the 16-ton caustic racks. Now, normally they would be picked up at the surface sites, you know, the barnacles, that sort of thing, and we've all known about that. Those have been getting few and far between up until this point, but they're still a really good earn. Now, with meta-alloys, they are floating around. A lot of people go, oh, that's an old material. But who knows what Frontier is going to drop in for us. So it's always worthwhile picking up. You need 1 unit of meta-alloys to unlock Felicity Farseer, that lovely lady who can really tune up your frameshift drive, whether it's an original frameshift drive or an SCO one. You need 16 units to unlock corrosion-resistant cargo racks. That'll be the class 4 one, okay, so 16 tons. 16 units to unlock meta-alloy hull reinforcement, if you haven't already done that, and 10 units to unlock the Thargoid bubblehead, which is always worthwhile having. Now, the meta-alloy hull reinforcement is something that not an awful lot of people tend to have gone through and have got unlocked. Now, it can be unlocked through a technology broker, and it does provide a measure of resistance against caustic damage inflicted by Thargoid weapons, or the enzyme missile rack. Now, unlike the standard hull reinforcement package, no resistance to kinetic, thermal or explosive damage. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth there. And for that, you are going to need other materials like focus crystals, aberrant shield pattern analysis, configural components and reinforced mounting plate. But we're not here to talk about that at the moment. One of the things you also need as well to unlock that Thargoid bubblehead, or bobblehead even, is Thargoid Hearts. Now they're there in abundance in the Caustic Cloud and are very easy to go and pick up. However, let's face it, you are going to need a caustic resistant cargo rack to do so. Now if you were fortunate enough to have completed the recent community goal in RIA, where just for taking part you were giving a 64-ton Class 6 caustic rack, then you'll be okay. Otherwise, you're going to have to make do with unlocking, as we've mentioned earlier on in the video, the 16-ton Class 4 ones and the original caustic racks, which are the Class 2. Now, that's great. So we've talked about hearts, we've talked about everything. Now, the Caustic Shard is a manufactured material that was introduced in Update 14 and can be found in the Thargoid Maelstrom and is dropped by destroyed Thargoid hunters, typically the glaive variant, which is all well and good, but you are going to need them to rearm your caustic sinks. Now, that in cohort with the corrosive mechanisms. Now, these are all found about the battle zones when you've gone in there and had a go at the hunters. Great stuff. Now, with the caustic shards and corrosive mechanisms, you can only really find them at graveyards in the caustic clouds, right? Around live titans. Shards are also dropped by those glaives as well. Now, they're common. They really are common. You can find them here, there and everywhere. More so than the caustic crystals. Now, you'd think, ooh, now if I shoot a caustic shard, would I get a caustic crystal? That is not the case. And we had to tell people that on a stream on the weekend. So, they're not linked. Caustic shards, corrosive mechanisms, you need them for your caustic sink launcher ammunition as well. So you can only find them at the Titan graveyards, and the shards are dropped by glaives as well. So, well worthwhile picking up as well. Make sure you've got all your material stocks of these materials charged up. They're in abundance at the moment, but who knows in the future. Now, as you're going into the Maelstrom of a currently live Titan, there's going to be all the caustic generators and all that around as well. Now, you can give them a good shooting and also get some materials out of that. You'll also be tempted by caustic crystals and caustic shards as well in that Maelstrom. So that's worthwhile finding out as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the other materials you're going to find, which you can use for AX ammo rearm. Now, to rearm your AX ammunition in Elite Dangerous, you're going to need tools such as weapon parts, propulsion elements, Thargoid carapaces. Now, normally with a Thargoid carapace, you would have found that at the original Thargoid land sites as well. Now, shooting some of the Rev that were around there, the good old Revenants, would also give you some of those materials as well. But these are more prevalent in the Thargoid Titan sort of graveyard sites. So make sure you got your limpets, make sure you get yourself all stocked up with your 200 and 300 and 250 quantities of that, because you never know, where else can you get these items. And AX weaponry recharge when you're running low on bullets and you're sticking it to the Thargoids is something worthwhile having. Now, this ultra rare material, the Titan drive component, typically spawns in the aftermath Maelstrom of a dead Titan. And they're rare. They really are rare and very valuable items. If you can see them, pick them up. Now, they were used in a community goal, right, by the Achilles company for the Achilles SCO frameshift drive overcharge frameshift drive device, right? You had to deliver one of those and, that would unlock it. Absolutely fantastic. I've still got some on my carrier. Now, they were requesting delivery of Titan drive components to build a hybrid Thargoid/human hyperdrive. All good stuff. That's over now, and the SCO frameshift drive is very much in the game. But the Titan drive component, right, it is sort of like shrouding a bit of mystery. Are we going to see more developments coming up? Worthwhile picking up anyway. Now, tissue samples. they're everywhere. You've got Thargoid Cyclops tissue samples, you've got Glaive tissue samples, you've got Scout tissue samples. You name the tissue samples, they're floating around in that maelstrom. At the moment, no real use for them other than selling them and making a bit of money. There was a time when they could affect the background simulation as well. The Orthrus tissue samples are quite rare, given the very nature and how the Orthrus moves about. So if you want to and you've got caustic cargo rack space, then you may want to pick those up. Now with Thargoid resin samples, I really am surprised Frontier has not used Thargoid resin samples to try and engineer a tougher hull that is impervious to Thargoid attack. That's a missed opportunity in my book. Currently there's absolutely no use for Thargoid resin samples in-game. Now, module reinforcement would have been apt for Thargoid resin samples. Anyway, I'm collecting an absolute ton of this. But hey, what can you do? But the resin is a biomechanical canister containing Thargoid resin. That's typically what it is. The substance is used to lubricate the internal systems of Thargoids, it is thought, of technology when wet, and to protect and reinforce structures when dry. Now that's a little bit like the stuff from Battlestar Galactica, isn't it? That resin they pasted on, it was like a biomechanical stuff that all their ships were made out of. Anyway, like we say, it is a biological matter material, and you can get it at the surface sites as well as floating around the wreckage of that Titan. Now, coming up to it now, the penultimate one, we've got cyst specimens, bone fragments and organ samples. Again, I thought these would have been used easily in some sort of like advanced engineering of material or modules in the game. But as it is, they're so easily harvested. You know, you can find these pods and spores on the hulk of the old Titan quite easily. Now, here's the thing with all of this. There's currently no known use for it. Now, you can shoot the Titan remains and get some of this as well. A lot of people are collecting these in abundance. Will they be used in a further community goal? We really don't know. And now coming up to the last thing that you currently find in there, in addition to pirates and Thargoids and caustic damage, is of course the bio-storage capsules. Now, you do get a bit of money for rescuing them. You do feel good when you rescue them. You are saving people. Is there going to be Thargoid zombies in this game? We just don't know. We really don't know if there are. It's a missed opportunity if these Thargoid biocapsules are not used for walking around genetically modified humans into Thargoid automatons who are then going to try and overtake humanity. It's a perfect story. And if they miss this, they really do need shooting. Anyway, so we've talked about all the materials, we've gone on about that in length. Let's talk about the build of a ship that you need to get in there and do a little bit of harvesting in the maelstrom. So this is the Caustic-conda. It's an anaconda, you've guessed it, and I've tricked it all out to be caustic resistant. Now, there can be variations of this build, there certainly are, but I thought I'd take you through it because simply this is what I've been using on the weekend to go through all the remnants of Indra and pick up all the Titan materials that I needed. I'm virtually stocked up on most things, apart from those pesky crystals. I had a good 10 or 15 items of those over the weekend, however, they are quite elusive. Anyway, let's go through the build. So here we are on the carrier. Let's just pop into outfitting. Now, when you've got a Titan that's bitten the dust like what Indra has, it's very important, let's face it, very important, to have armaments on there. I've gone for AX multi-cannons because there's more scouts than there is Thargoids, to be perfectly honest with you. And the bigger Thargoids, if you run cold enough, you can get out of the way and hide in the debris and they won't chase you. So I went for the enhanced multi-cannons all the way there. If things get tasty, I got a Cyto Scrambler to bring down those shields, and I've got a beam laser with, you guessed it, long-range thermal vent on it. Must get this engineered up. Anyway, On the utility mounts, I've got a pulse wave Xeno scanner. There is no shutdown field neutralizer here. Not at this point of the game anyway. I forgo that. So I got the Xeno scanner so I can see what I'm actually shooting. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 caustic sinks. Most of them tricked up. That one isn't. That's got the additional heatsink ammo modification on there. And I've got a little heatsink launcher as well. That's been tricked up as well. No drama. That's going to protect me from all the caustic damage. Core internals. Thrusters. Why have I got a 7E on this? Well, I've got to take it to a station to put a 7A thrusters on that. No drama. And I haven't done any engineering on it. But that should definitely be a 7A. Frameshift drive. This is a legacy frameshift drive I had knocking about. That's all tricked up. It's got all of the modifications on it. Got thermal spread to keep it a bit cooler. Don't know why I put thermal spread. Must be running out of materials. But you could put mass manager on there, no problem at all. So lightweight on the life support. Weapons focus power distributor. Because typically that's what I need. Sensors, lightweight. No, sorry, long range. 8D, nice and light. And a fuel tank. Moving into the internals. The multi-limpet controller. The 2 anti-corrosion class 6 cargo racks giving 128 tons of corrosive cargo storage. Got me hull reinforcements with my heavy duty reinforcements on there. I got a module reinforcement. Now, where I would change this, I would put in a Guardian module reinforcement package, and if you've got the materials, you could pop in the anti-Guardian zone resistance modification. That would give you slightly more integrity than that one. So that's worthwhile. I've got another anti-corrosion cargo rack by there knocking around. Experimental weapon stabilizer, grade 5. More hull reinforcement because I'm not running with shields. All of the things here, you know, again, heavy duty hull. Got a fuel scoop just in case, but that can be ripped out. You can put something a bit more tasty in, perhaps some more cargo. And I got an AFMU and a detailed surface scanner and the planetary approach suite should I need it. But you could get rid of that, and you could get rid of that, and you could put more storage or more hull armor in it. This build works well. I think I've found a reason for it. What I'm not happy about is the fact that I've got to get this changed. There's a 7A right there. We'll just bang it in. It's got all the modifications on it. Dirty drive tuning. That'll do for us. No problem. And then what we'll do then is, because we got, you know, I'm running out of space. I don't know what all you commanders are doing, but I'm running out of space as well, you see. So when it comes down to things like core internals, I always make sure I get in there and I make sure I get these things sold, because I don't want them hanging around and I'm getting close to my limit. So when I start doing my builds, I'm going to have a problem. So that effectively was the Caustic-conda build, and it does work really well. If we pop over here to inventory, 144 tons of cargo space I can have with that. Fill it up with about 120 tons worth of limpets and you can go absolutely crazy and pick up all those Thargoid materials. It really is worthwhile. So, cool, fantastic, that's it. Things we could do to make things a bit better. Obviously the engines, dirty drive tuning, let's get a bit of that in there. And then you can put drag drives on it later. Try and make it as fast as an Anaconda as I possibly can. Cool, good for us. Other things we could do. Well, the beam laser we got on there, we're all tricked up with all of that. We'd have to go to the blaster and get the Cyto Scrambler sorted out, but everything else seems to be okay. I mean, the FSD, yeah, it could put Mass Manager on there as well to make it go a bit further, but I'm happy with how the build is now at the moment. What you could do, like I said, is over here into optional internals, into the module reinforcement package, if you've got one knocking about, you could put a Guardian one in there as well. So if you look between the Guardian modules, you do get slightly more protection. Anyway, there is a power draw attached to it as well. Something just to bear in mind. So there it is, everyone, the breakdown of what you can find in the Maelstroms, in the graveyard, the remnants of the dead Titans as well, the materials, what they're used for currently, and my build of my Caustic-conda that I used to go and collect all my materials. Let me know what your build looks like. I'd be very interested to see. And are you going and mining all those materials from the Thargoid Titan sites and stocking up? I've been Ricardo. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon.